What's up, YouTube? We're going to be going over exactly how you should be testing your creatives in the Facebook ad account so that you can scale while dropping your CPA. This is a question I get all the time, and what I've realized over the years is that a lot of brands don't know how to do this properly. They end up testing the wrong things that actually don't make a difference in the ad account. A lot of times they just end up mixing around the creative and hoping that that variation works, and that's not how you should be testing ads at all. Testing your creatives should be thought through in advance. You're not just testing because someone else told you to, you're testing a specific aspect of your ad that you're wanting to see performs best. Whether it's your headline, whether it's the imagery, whether it's the hook, whether it's a certain background color that you're trying to portray a message with. And along with that, I see a lot of brands, when they're testing variations, they end up testing more than one variable at a time. Testing more than one variable at a time can get very hairy because when you change that many variables, you don't know which one caused the most impact. That's why you want to isolate to one variable test at a time so you can see, oh, okay, when I change the headline from X to Y did better. Instead, I see a lot of brands saying, okay, I'm going to change this headline to this headline. I'm going to change the background image from Z to W, and then I'm going to change the entire layout of A. I'm going to make it look like C, and there's too many variables going on. So to do this, I'm going to show you the different variation types that are out there, and I'm going to be showing you the structure that we use to test our creatives using our patented tri-tiered method. I'm just kidding. There's really no patent for that, but it is a cool name, and it is how we like to test in our ad account, and it's been proven to work because we've been able to scale multiple brands to 7 figures a month using this exact method. So take it as you want. First, what is a creative variation? A creative variation is simply taking the concept that you have and making different variations of the creative itself, so that way you're giving Facebook more of an opportunity to reach the right audiences. Because let's be real, if you have one concept and you only give Facebook one creative, it's not giving it much of a chance. If you expand it out, you can have multiple different variations, so that way Facebook can test all of them simultaneously and find which one works the best for that audience. Now, what I always recommend doing is making 3 variations for whatever concept you're producing. The first one that we have is called reorganize. Reorganizing an ad is simply moving around the same elements to achieve a different structure than what you previously had. It's kind of like playing Tetris. So as we can see here, if we use our Mobius Digital Cream, we have all of the text at the top here that is left aligned, and then we have the features or benefits pointing off to the right-hand side. This one where everything's kind of centered, and then we have benefits and features pointing off to the left and right. And this one where it's more of a bullet point features and benefits with the exact same headline and text here. Reorganizing is, you would do a reorganization when you really don't know what to test, but you're still wanting to do variations. Reorganizing doesn't really have any intrinsic test to it. You're just moving it around in a way to see what their eyes kind of attach to more. This will give you good insights on how to make your ads in the future if you can determine what style your audience gravitates towards. The second type of variation we have is a full redesign. A full redesign is when you're changing the entire ad itself, but keeping the core concept. As we can see here, the overall concept behind this ad is showing how this belt doesn't have the standard loopholes in it, and it has a ratchet system, but we want to show it in completely different ways. You're going to be using this variation type when you don't know how the audience is going to react. There's not really a specific messaging that you're wanting to test. All you're wanting to do is test what captures the most attention. So whether it's more of a lifestyle, whether it's more of a plain background, or if it's just a product only shot, we are just trying to test the waters to see what people are enjoying more and what people will engage with more here. Next is we have a headline change. This is as simple as it sounds. You're keeping everything the same. All you're doing is changing the headline. This is really good when you're wanting to test messaging. Testing the messaging is very, very important, and it's one of the first steps that you should do. Doing this will allow you to find out what core message your audience likes and what your audience resonates with. When you find that, you have found a winning concept. So here we left the images all the same, and all we did is change the messaging to see what people would like more, whether it's throw away your old golf polo. Your current golf polo is boring AF. Golf polos are expensive. Don't be afraid to mess around with it and have fun with it. After all, that's why you're testing in the first place. Another variation type we use is a simple image change. Just like the headline, all we're doing here is changing one variable, and it's the image. We leave the actual messaging the exact same, and all we're doing is changing the background image, the foreground image. whatever it may be, we're changing the main image of the actual creative itself to see what can stop and grab attention, what can stop the scroll right away. The next type of variation is a color change. A color change is really easy. You're changing the color of some aspect of the ad. Whether it's the background, the text, or the border, it doesn't matter. You are changing something for a specific reason. Now, why would you want to test the color? Testing color you can do for a lot of different reasons. You can go into color theory and learn how different colors evoke different emotions. That helps a lot with your ads, and we use it a lot in our agency. We use certain colors to portray different emotions, to evoke different emotions, to bring it out of our consumers. So we may want to test which one works the best and drives the most clicks, which one drives the most sales. That's why you would want to test colors. Next is a product change. This is whenever you're changing the product or product variant of the actual ad itself. Now, what I recommend is that you don't change the overall product itself into something completely different. This is a golf belt. I'm not going to go from a golf belt to a golf bag with this exact ad because we're talking about the belt itself. However, I may change collections. I may change different SKUs of that same collection. In this instance, I changed the actual color. So this is all one singular collection, but with different colors. But I could also change the product into different collections. Whether this one's called the ostrich collection, but there's also one called the camo collection. I can change that because it's still a belt. I won't want to change the overall main product though. And you want to do this whenever you just want some variety. You know the messaging works. You kind of want to see what color people are attracted to more, what product variant people are attracted to more, what collection people are attracted to more, anything along the lines of that. It's to add more variation to the ad. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And I know I said in the beginning that you want to change only one variable at a time. However, there are times when we want to change two aspects. It's very, very rare, but there are times where we may want to do a combo of different variation types. For example, on this one, it's a product change plus a headline change. This is whenever we change the actual headline itself and we're changing the product. We do this sometimes when we know a specific messaging works and we know specific products work. In this instance, we know that all three of these color SKUs work really, really well. And we have seen that this particular messaging works really, really well from other ads we created. So now we're just testing it combined with each other. We want to mix this headline with this color, this headline with that one. And we're just seeing which one of the mixtures between them works the best. Again, this is a rare scenario when we do this. We usually only stick to one at a time, but if we do know that proven colors and proven messaging works and we want to test all of them together, we may throw it into something like this and how we think it works the best. So those are the variation types that you can use in your ad account. Now, I want to show you how you should be structuring your tests in order to gain the most profit in your ad account. This is the tri-tiered method, and it is the most efficient way that we have come up with to test your creatives and to find the next winning ad at the highest possible success rate. You have three phases. You have the hook wars, the visual showdown, and the full creative optimization. The hook wars is the headline change. This is when you're testing the messaging behind your ad. You don't want to change the visuals and you don't want to change what grabs their initial attention. You want to test what messaging, what angle, and what concept works the best. Once you find an overall winner in terms of the actual messaging behind your ad, then you move into the visual showdown. This is whenever you're testing the actual visuals behind the message that you just found that won. So in this example, we're going to do a redesign. You could potentially do a redesign where you're taking an overall message and you're making the entire ad look completely different. You could do an image change to find out which image resonates the most with your audience, or a color change, something where you're changing the visual, but you keep the core messaging the same throughout the entire thing. Once you find the messaging that works the best and the visual that works the best, you're going to do a full creative optimization. This is whenever you're going to test every aspect of the ad, whether it's the creative or maybe it's just the body copy, different CTAs, different layouts to find that winning combination. This is for maximizing performance. Phase 3 is really for when you're extremely refining an ad. The main things that you should be focused on are phase 1 and phase 2, with phase 1 being the most important with finding the messaging, and phase 2 using that messaging, but finding exactly what hooks the user in. So that is the different variation types that you can use for statics and how you should test them in your ad account. Now, as far as videos goes, how should you be testing those? I'll give you a brief summary right now. For video variations, I test the hooks. This is whenever I'm changing the first 3 seconds of the video. I could change anything from the visuals that I'm using, so the initial video that I'm putting over there, whether it's a different B-roll, whether it's in a different setting, anything along the lines of that. I could also test a different script. I could have the creator send me 3 different scripts for the hook, where I'm testing different messaging behind the actual hook itself to see what grabs people's attention. I could change simply just the headline of the video, where I may keep the visual the same and I may keep the script the same, but I may put an overall visual on top where one says, use the tri-tier method to make $1 million a month. Another one may say, this Facebook ad strategy made me $3 million a month. Or another one could be what I learned over 6 years of advertising on Facebook. I may keep the actual script the same, but I may change the headline on top. I may say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to scale your brand to 9 figures a month, but I'm going to have different headlines on top. That's the high level view on the variations we make with videos. If you want, I can create a full separate video on that, just like I did for statics. Let me know if that's something you want to see in the comments. But all in all, that is how you test creatives in 2025 for maximum results in your Facebook ad account. If you're just wanting myself to mentor you on how to create viral ads for your brand, just like I do in my agency, then click the link that says have Cole Wetzler mentor you, and we'll book a call and we'll see if there's something I can do to help. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be uploading every single week. So until then, I'll see you on the next one.